G'day, podcaster. Liam here. In today's episode, we get people's shocking last names, and there's some absolutely terrible ones in there. You'll hear that early on. Belle also talks about how she's getting over her boyfriend's eating habits, and Ben and I also out ourselves for our gross eating habits. Also, we asked people if they got on the news, and we had some interesting callers for that. That's how I'll brand it. Interesting.
Some of the best ones we've had in a long time.
Oh yeah, rippers.
Who's ready to have some fun? Ben, I am.
I'm ready for fun.
All right, here we go.
Live across Australia. This is Ben, Liam and Belle's
Late Drive on Nova.
Good evening, Australia. If you are driving to work, maybe you're driving home from work, maybe you're driving sport. I don't know what you're up to this evening, but whatever it is you're up to, maybe you're having a coffee like Belle is.
Yeah, how do you feel about 6 p.m. coffees?
I think you're too jittery to be having 6 p.m. coffees.
I'm a little bit shaky. Yeah, my eyes are doing the thing. I can't really focus properly, but it's fine. It's my third one. But, 6 p.m., I feel like if we were doing night shift, yes. But we've got this show for the next 2 hours, and then I'll be going to bed. So
Tuck into the trucker diet. Have some No-Dos or a Monster or something like that. That'll get you going.
I've got No-Dos extra strength in my centre console because I do often do like
Is
interstate.
that how you do those night drives?
Well, I've got interstate road trips, right? I do a fair few of them, but
Ben's a long-haul truck driver.
Yeah,
This is just his first job.
I went to the chemist, I reckon it was, or maybe it was the servo, and I got one of No-Dos. They were sold out of No-Dos, but they had No-Dos extra strength, so I bought
insane.
it. And I'll be honest, I was driving and I was too scared to take it.
It feels like, yeah, I mean,
you
No-Dos.
get the adrenaline just by thinking about it.
No-Dos is hectic. No-Dos extra strength feels like there's an amphetamine in there somewhere.
Yeah.
It's like, how can you get stronger than that without ODing on caffeine?
Yeah.
Because it's legal, can you take one before a show in the next week or two?
We guess which the No-Dos.
Yeah.
It's probably the one where you've punched a hole in the wall before we start, I'd say. Call us up. Worst last names. If you know someone with a shocking last name, or you're brave enough to admit, I have a terrible last name. Maybe I've even considered changing my last name.
Yep.
Call us 13 24 10. I was emailing a guy today. Last name Schmiedelmeier.
It sounds made up.
I mean, must you say it with the schmee?
I just saw that and I was like, what a stinker.
How'd you say
I'm
it?
assuming it's like German, maybe, but
Yeah.
Schmiedelmeier?
Schmiedelmeier. It was SCHMEDLEMIER.
It's like in
Schmiedelmeier.
School of Rock when he's like,
Yeah.
it's Schneeble.
Schneeble.
That's right.
There's definitely a last name that comes to my mind when you say worst last name. And I guess I apologise if you have this last name, but Abercrombie?
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 Abercrombie.
I think I've heard Abercrombie. I don't think
Abercrombie and Fitch.
Oh, there'd be someone with the last name Abercrombie.
Yeah, I think Abercrombie kind of seems cool. It's like a rich British regal type thing. Abercrombie, not
Applecrombie.
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 Yeah, that sounds like a dessert or something.
It does.
But that's the thing. You might not even really be able to put a sort of name to it. You can't even put your finger on it, like why it sucks so bad. But it's just doesn't sound nice.
13 24 10 might be yours, might be somebody else's, as Liam said, but we are looking for worst last names. Kiara joins us in Melbourne.
Cara.
Kiara, tomato.
No, it's not a completely different name. Cara.
Kiara, go for it. Worst last name.
I used to work with someone whose surname was Porker. Porker. Would you believe it?
Porker. And Cara, was she?
Hey.
Well, then now you're putting Kiara on the spot.
Porker's not a becoming last name, no.
No, it's not.
You would have to become a marathon runner or an athlete to justify having that last name.
There's all Porker's in.
Kiara, you're in the draw for Nova's first class and 50K. Thank you very much for getting involved. That's a very good one. If you got one for worst last name, 13 24 10. That's our number. Give us a buzz.
Monique in the Gold Coast. Is this your last name?
Yes. So my last name is Siri.
Siri?
Yeah.
Right.
Like the Apple Siri.
Yeah.
And so people are like, hey, Siri, what's the weather? And you're like, ha, 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 ha.
That's it. Yeah.
Is
It
it
was
spelled-
funny the first few times, and now it's just my
Of
life.
course.
Spelt the same way as well?
What's that?
Is it spelt the same way?
It is, yes.
Yeah.
And that wouldn't have been a problem for like the first 20 years of your life.
Totally.
Pretty much. Beck in Melbourne, is this your last name, someone else's?
No, it's somebody else's.
Okay.
Oh, fun. What do you got?
Cyril is his first name, and Toswell.
Cyril Top. Well, you full named him. Cyril Top.
Yeah.
You full named him.
Brutal for him if he's listening. That is two bad names
What's
together.
funny about the first name?
Cyril's a funny first name.
I don't find Cyril that funny. Like Cyril.
I find Cyril pretty funny.
Really?
Is it Cyril Toswell, is it?
Toswell.
What? How do you say the last name again, sorry?
Toswell.
Coughlwell.
Toffwell.
Toffwell.
Yeah, Toswell.
Yeah,
As in
Toffwell.
tossing. Yeah.
Oh, Toswell. Oh, even better. Oh, yeah, that's really bad.
Yeah, okay.
Cyril Toswell.
Cyril Toswell.
Am I missing
Belle,
that?
Toswell. Cyril Toswell.
Oh.
Took her 5 times to get it.
Adam. In Brisbane. Worst last names. What do you got?
I used to go to school with someone with the last name Coburn, but it's spelled Cockburn.
Yeah. Which is more common than you think.
Yeah, there's a lot of I can say it because it's a last name, but there's a lot of Glasscocks.
A lot of what, sorry?
There is.
A lot of what?
Glasscocks.
Can you order them online or?
Yes, if you want.
I've never met a Glasscock.
Really?
Certainly not.
Oh, there's a street near my house. Glasscock Street.
A lot of glass clocks near your house.
Well, it's a dodgy area, but yes.
Gee whiz.
It's a name. I can say that.
Anna in Melbourne, you ever heard that last name? That's wild. to me.
Never.
Yeah,
Never
I know.
heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what have you got? Worst last name?
It's my sister's last name. It's Castricum, but her first name is Krishna, so she's Krishna Castricum.
Yeah, that does sound good.
And I got to hope she's not listening or any of her kids.
Too late.
Anna's just called us out on the radio to get in the draw for Nova's first class and 50K. Rochelle in Brizzy, worst last name?
Hello. It was Ballstack.
No, it wasn't. It was Ballstack.
It was. The teacher. No, not Ballstack. Ballstack.
But
Ballstack.
it's so close.
So your teacher was called Mr. Ballstack.
Mr. Ballstack. Yeah.
I wouldn't hire him. I wouldn't hire him as a teacher. I'm sorry, maybe a lovely guy, but I'm just like, we don't need that near our school.
I
Mr.
couldn't
Ballstack.
focus. I couldn't focus in class.
That would light up the classroom.
Miss
an awful
Glasscock and Mr. Ballsack.
Ballstack.
All right, guys. Now let's keep it sensible. Obviously, we know Miss Booth is off sick this week, so we have our substitute teacher. Would like you to all meet Mr. Ballsack. Oh, okay, guys, grow up. You're year 5s, all right? Grow up. Have some respect. Have some decorum for Mr. Ballstack. Kieran, what do you got?
I've got a good one for you. It's my own last name.
Yeah.
It's Feck. It's spelled Feck.
Whoa!
Feck.
Kieran Feck.
That's it, mate. The one and only.
Well, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Can I ask the origin of Feck?
Yeah, German apparently from my granddad's parents.
My family background's Irish, and they say feck
Yes.
a lot. That's sort of the way they say it.
Kieran, do you have a Kiwi accent, Kieran?
Sure do, yeah.
Yeah, so when you say feck, it does
It
sound.
sounds it.
Yeah.
That's great.
Charlotte in Brizzy, worst last name?
I had a placement supervisor, and his name was Wanker.
You're kidding me. His actual
not.
name, his actual last name.
Spelt wanker?
It was spelt like that and everything.
It wasn't like Wayne and then like Kerr. It was just Wanker.
Yeah, Wanka.
You're just changing that, right? Like, why not change that?
That's crazy.
That's
Yeah.
Mr. Wanker.
Him and Ballstack should get together.
Yeah.
Don't forget about Glasscock.
Shaz in Melbourne. Let's just keep this rolling. Worst last name?
Well, it's actually a combination of mine and my husband. So my name's Darren, but I grew up in a bogan town, so everyone calls me Shaz.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And his last name's Doggrass, Dogra, and everyone calls him Dogs. And I refused to take his last name because I didn't want to be called Shaz Dog.
That's a cool name.
It's very Australian.
Yeah, good Instagram handle as well. Jody, is this you or someone else? Last name?
Someone else. I'm in the delivery field, and I always used to deliver to a lady, and her surname was Longbottom.
like Neville.
Like Neville from Harry Potter.
His parents were killed, though, by Bellatrix Lestrange, obviously, in the early 90s.
Liam flexes his Harry Potter knowledge. Mel in Sydney, good evening. Worst last names?
Hi. So my dad was a high school teacher, and he had a colleague whose name was Mr. Stiff.
Wow. They're funny when they're like dong ones. aren't
Yeah,
they?
yeah, especially when they're teachers.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah. Like, it's funny when you're in the classroom and you imagine them calling Mr. Stiff.
Mr. Steve. How does your partner eat? How does your partner eat? Now, I feel like this might be more up the girls' alley because guys tend to eat more loudly and ferociously and quickly. My new partner is a fitness coach. He's always going on about like food and protein and grams of this and that and how much he should be eating. And he expels a lot of energy in his job and every day. So he's always like, he's just eating constantly. And he eats like he hasn't eaten in a week every time. Whether it's been an hour or 2 hours or 5 minutes, it's like he's a vacuum. It's like he gets the food and just puts the whole thing in his mouth. I don't know how he does it. And sometimes he picks it up, like if it's like food that you eat with your hands and your fingers, he'll pick it up with his whole hand and then just put his whole hand with the food in his mouth. And it's like it goes all the way in. And sometimes I just sit there and I just watch. And we went to dinner with a few friends and I had to say, I'm so sorry. I apologize for how he's eating because he looks like a caveman because he just picks it up and just shoves the whole thing
He'll go like 2 knuckles deep into his own mouth.
Yeah, it's like full on.
Wow.
It's like he's putting it as far in as he can.
I'd love you. Like, babe, you got to try some of this. Puts the knuckles in your mouth as well.
It's wild. And like in my head, I'm like, we just had lunch a few hours ago, but it looks like he's starving and he's been rescued and he's just shoving it everything.
Is he one of those people
possibly
that
can.
eat so fast they look like they're going to choke on it a little bit?
He never does that. I think he's so good at it. It just goes in. It just goes in.
Can you
and
give
out.
us a bit of an impression? Give us a bit of. What does it sound like?
Oh, what it sounds like? Oh my gosh! So he'll go, and he'll go, and literally like 3 chews, like, and then it's gone. And you're like, where?
Oh,
did it
so
go?
he's actually inhaling
yes,
as he's eating.
It's
like a duck.
wild. And like sometimes I'll be talking to him and he'll be eating while he's listening, and suddenly it's all gone, and I'm like, I don't even. Where did that disappear to?
I don't make a noise, I don't think, when I eat, but my wife, Sam...
You don't, but I will say yesterday, that Vietnamese roll, I did have to put my headphones on. It was getting just
very loud.
It was just so close to me, but I get with a thick, crunchy pork belly sort of,
Because, so when I eat my dinner, my wife, Sam, always tells me to relax because when I'm hungry... and I get home and there's a plate of food in front of me, I'll hunch over it, like I'm protecting it like a dog, like a rabid dog.
Yeah.
And I'll hunch over. I don't realize I'm doing it until she says it, but I'll hunch over and my right hand will be protecting it from the right side.
Yeah.
And my left hand is always in a tight,
It's like hunter-gatherer stuff.
tight clenched fist,
But
as
you
if
just-
I'm going to punch the next person that comes near my
I
food.
think I've seen
And then
you do that.
As I eat my food and I eat more and more and I get full, my hand unclenches.
Mine's a lot less aggressive than that.
Yeah.
But Sarah, my wife, she always she says it gives her the ick when I get excited for food. She's like, just calm down, all right? Especially if we've ordered something nice, I'll do this. I rub my hands together like that.
Oh, yes.
And I start
you do.
I almost start doing
You
like a little
do.
dance. And she's like, oh, can you just, this is gross. Can you just chill out a little bit? I'm just like, I'm going to nail that curry. I'm going to
You're
nail
like
that.
a puppy.
Yeah, I start wagging. I start wagging a bit.
I've seen you rub your hands together for food now you mention
For a
that.
good dish. Yeah.
We've got caveman Ben and puppy Liam.
It's 6:10. Hallelujah, it's 6:10.
Well, good evening, Vanessa and Sydney. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, we're not too bad, thanks. Let's kick into the quiz. Albo has said he's never touched a cigarette in his whole life. What's another nickname for a cigarette?
Siggy.
Siggy?
Siggy,
Yep.
yep.
We would have taken coffin nail, lung
Durry.
blaster.
Dark.
Yeah, any of the above. On this day in 1970, the Beatles' Let It Be single went to number 1. Can you name all 4 of the Beatles?
Oh my God, I have to know this. Okay, we've got Paul.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Ringo.
Yep.
We've got John.
Yes. Yep. Now, this is the one that people trip up on sometimes.
Oh my God, yes, I'm tripping.
He did While My Guitar Slowly Weeps.
Liam's a Beatles fan, Vanessa.
Friend, I have someone in the car.
Yeah, you can phone a friend. Yeah, why not? Yeah,
Yeah.
they can call the name out.
Who's number 4? We've got Ringo. We've got Paul. John.
No,
Did I
you,
get John?
You said John. You said John.
Okay, John, Paul, Ringo.
And
Oh, my God.
Oh, Vanessa.
Oh,
Yes, I love your energy,
let's
though.
move to Daniel in Adelaide. As Ben mentioned, I am a big Beatles fan, so this is kind of annoying me. John Lennon, Paul McCartney, you've got Ringo Starr, and who's the other one?
I can see his face. Oh, no.
Oh, dude, come on.
I know.
They're only the biggest band ever.
Oh, no. Yeah, I've got his face in front.
Oh, I'm sorry, Daniel.
Oh, Britt in St Kilda East, can you name this fourth Beatle we're looking for?
I'm hoping it's George
Harrison, of course. Yeah, you've done it. Margot Robbie is set to produce a movie based on Monopoly. I suppose after the success of the Barbie movie. Which space is diagonally across from Go on a Monopoly board?
Jail?
That's what I probably would have said myself.
I know. I feel like I know the Monopoly board so well.
Yeah, because
diagonal
jail,
from Go.
it's not jail, because jail, you fly from the other
Yeah.
end of it
Yeah,
when
I
you
know,
get
yeah.
kicked into
Yeah,
there.
I'm more of a Beatles guy. I listen to old music.
Bit
while
of a
people are
clue
playing
for you.
Monopoly.
I like Beatles and Monopoly.
So you're on Go, then you go past jail. What comes after jail? Leonard in Brisbane.
After jail would be diagonally across.
Mm-hmm. Diagonally across from Go. So you go, it's diagonally across from that.
The luck. The good luck.
It's a good one.
It's not a chance card.
No. Stace in Brizzy, do you know what's diagonally across from Go on Monopoly?
Stace.
Stacey.
Moving on from Stace. George in Melbourne, diagonally across from Go.
Oh, I haven't played Monopoly in years, but when I did play, I was ruthless, and I believe it's parking.
Yeah,
I'll give it to you.
Yeah, we'll take it. Free parking.
Yep.
A bit sad, George. Off your tree. It's closing down. Stores all across Australia. What can you buy or get done at Off Your Tree?
Oh, I'm a young man. You already know the answer to that. It is piercing.
Yeah, piercings.
Yeah,
Fun
piercings.
fact, Ben got his nipple pierced there last year for the show.
Yep.
And also bought a bong. Okay. I don't know if you saw this, George, but a horse was on the loose at a train station in Sydney. Can you finish these lyrics?
Down on the ground, so broken when looking all around.
Nah.
Oh, wow, blasphemous.
Whoa.
I mean, I thought that would have been a gimme. You've been spending too much time at Off Your Tree, man. You've not been respecting your classics. Wendy in Perth, I mean, you'd know.
Can't you see him? He's down on the ground, so broken when looking all around.
That's the way it's going to be, little darling.
Yeah.
I think this week the 610 quiz songs, they've been a little lackluster.
Yeah.
There's been no heart in the songs.
Wendy, if we gave you another opportunity, and maybe we'd bump your name up on the list for the first,
We can't do that.
we can give you a couple. We can give you another. We can give you another prize.
Double entry for Nova's first class.
Yep, double entry. Yep,
Yeah.
double entry.
entry, that'll work.
If you give it a little bit more oomph.
Oh, I've got to sing it.
Yeah, you got to sing it. Yeah. All right. So we'll put you in the draw twice if you sing the rest of these lyrics.
Can't you see him? He's down on the ground, so broken when looking all around.
That's the way it's going to be, little darling. We'll go riding on the horses. Surely that's enough.
Yeah, that's enough. Yeah, I was waiting for like a big oomph, but you actually sang it, which was nice.
I think it's a single entry, but we'll send you along to the movies. You can go see Dev Patel's new movie, Monkey Man, in cinemas now.
Wendy, you also get to choose the next song we play. That's your third prize. Do you want to hear Delta Goodrum? Or do you want to hear Will Smith?
Let me see you crouch and spin, baby. Come on.
There are your two choices.
We'll go with the second one.
Oh, a bit of Will Smith.
Yeah.
All right.
Here we go.
Yo, mic check, mic check.
It's Will Smith, Switch, right across the country with Ben, Liam and Belle. It's Late Drive. Wendy in Perth. You have a great evening.
You too. Thank you so much.
survive the vibe a second. This a club, girl, while you arrive naked. Hear that? How the veteran glide the record. But don't download, go out and buy the record. Something sexy about a girl on the floor, all her friends around her. I mean, real clean, ain't gotta touch or nothing. It ain't like I like a chick on chick.
It's Will Smith, Switch on Late Drive. You are here with Ben Lehman Bell. Is that song what I think it's... I've never listened to the lyrics before, but I listened to the lyrics for the first time. Is that what I think it's about?
Oh.
Turn it over
Like
and
switch. Yeah, like switch it up.
Yeah. I think it is. I think if you listen to the lyrics, he's talking about switching it up.
The Nintendo Switch.
No, like a different Switch. Switching it up.
He says, turn it over and
Switch.
hit it.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah.
Ooh, la, la, la.
Yeah, it's weird because I only ever picture Will Smith as a dad.
Oh,
And,
yeah,
like-
pleasant dad who gets up on stage every now and then and assaults other actors. Oh, he's just a nice guy. I just love Will Smith. Isn't he fun? He's never done anything to make me think like he's probably a bad guy or like, you know, a little bit of a psychopath.
I think I was definitely team Will Smith, and then when he did the slap, I know this is like old news now, but I definitely went off him with the slap.
I can't watch his movies anymore. I think he's a dick.
And he's got so many good movies.
Really?
iRobot.
You still like Will Smith after that?
It's all fake in my head.
No,
It was all set up.
But even if
their viewers, like their numbers were plummeting, and they needed to do something to go viral. They needed to do something to get people to watch award shows again, and they.
I don't disagree with that, Belle, but I still don't like him after doing that, even if it was a publicity stunt, because he doesn't seem like a good guy after it. And then he went dark for ages, like he went off social media for maybe a month, 6 weeks, and then he just started doing stuff again. It was weird. I'm back.
Everyone does that now. Have you noticed? A lot of people, everyone just like moves on. And then they go silent, and then they come back, and everyone's like, okay.
Wonder if we'll ever have to go silent for a couple of weeks.
Have like a social media blackout.
Sure.
Bit
Ben
too much
Lehman Bell off air for a couple of weeks. What happened there?
Well, see, no, but you know what? It would get everyone talking.
I've always wanted to.
Should I belt one of you?
Like punch one of us?
Yeah. I mean, you know.
Yeah, do me.
Yeah, no, I'm not it.
I mean, no, I don't.
Now you don't want the PR.
Went to the old Melbourne Gaol the other day, Ben and Belle. Yeah, in-laws were in town. Thought they'd enjoy it. Pretty cool. Ned Kelly's armour's in there.
Is it?
Yeah, I've never been like a big Ned Kelly. You know, some people have tattoos and they've got the stickers on the car and that sort of thing. I'm pretty sure he was hung there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, lots of people were. That's just how it was back in those days.
Yep.
And they also used to experiment on the prisoners like after they'd passed away. So they weirdly have like a lot of, if you go there and you go into all the different cells, they have like molds of like plasticine molds of the people's faces that were like in the cells. It's kind of, it's a bit morbid, but like they would do.
It's very personal.
Yeah. Well, they were criminals. So, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know about it, like, you know, back in the day, they're probably mistrialed and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so.
you know, they
and it
stole a
might
loaf
have
of bread.
Yeah.
God forbid.
I think these guys were mostly murderers.
Okay.
I was reading that.
Okay.
I was reading a lot of murder.
Mhm.
A lot of gruesome murder. So probably deserve to have a plasticine head in the thing. People pay money to come and look at you.
Yep.
Yeah, right.
But so there was this one room and it sort of like went into like a lot of the experiments that would happen. And I suppose like, I know it seems a bit weird, but I suppose that's how we probably, you know, modern sciences develop, and that's how we would find out over the years about anatomy and how the brain works and all of that.
So you want to see more of that in this day and age?
Not saying that. Not saying that.
You want more capital punishment?
No, you can donate your body to
for
science.
murderers?
You can. Well, that's it. You can donate your body to science.
Liam wants more capital punishment for murderers, and he wants more experimentation.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm
on
saying.
prisoners.
But when I was there, I was there with my wife, and they had this big diagram of, and it was like the human brain, and it was broken up into say 50 emotions. It's like where they believed each emotion was, and you know, so it's like, oh, well, this little circle of the brain, that's where your anger comes from, and this is, you know, your fear and your taste and your love and your happiness and whatever. And I don't know if you know this about my wife. You probably don't, unless you've like patted her head. You wouldn't notice because she's got long hair, but she does have a bit of a flat spot going on in the back of the head there.
Oh,
Quite
really?
flat. It's pretty flat. You could probably rest a dinner plate on the top.
Really?
Of it. Yeah. And we sort of joke about it. But I said to her, well, let's see how accurate this thing is. Let's see what you're missing. Because there's a whole part of her head like that's just missing, sort of at the very top of the back. And I looked on the chart and I was like, where is it? Self-esteem is what you are. Brutal. I was like, oh, I must be missing that bit too.
How cool is this? There was an A-League game over the weekend, and there was a violinist absolutely destroying Seven Nation Army. I love that about a soccer crowd, how into it they get.
I did actually see this.
Yeah, Liam, on the show, you are the soccer, aka football fan.
It looks so cool.
It looks cool.
I don't think it's real. That's me.
You think it's
I've
real?
seen it going viral, and I thought the same thing. I was like, wow, that looks cool, and I was like, nah.
What's not real?
Because it sounds like a stacked San Siro, but it's Amy Park, and it's an A-League game.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like soccer crowds can do it. I feel like they got 20,000 can be like a big wave of noise.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you've ever been to the A-League before, unfortunately.
So what are you saying? You're saying that they put crowd sounds over the video for it to go viral?
Unfortunately, there's sometimes a bit of an atmosphere issue. The last time I was there, I saw Melbourne City versus Adelaide United, and unfortunately there was like 6,000 people there, and DJ Havana Brown was DJing at halftime, and it felt very empty. It felt very empty. Now, I think obviously the violinist she's like playing that legit.
Yep.
But I saw it on TikTok and it's going nuts. And I think the camera is very close to her, and I think the crowd sound has been added. So that's just, if I'm being honest, that's what I think.
So you think if someone was at that game watching it live, it wouldn't have been that atmosphere?
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, the only saving grace is that it's a Melbourne derby, and that's like, I mean, sometimes buckets are thrown at players' heads, like it does get a little hairy.
Was that game?
Yeah.
Oh.
A couple of years ago, yeah.
If you were at the Melbourne Derby 13-24-10, give us a buzz. I want to know, we'll go to the source itself. If you were one of the 20,000 people that was at that game, give us a buzz.
Just
13-24-10.
Because listen, like, I think it's real violin, but I think it's like I think it's been put into the video to make it sound like it's heaving. Do you know what I mean?
If you were there, you can tell us once and for all whether or not the crowd sound was real. 13-24-10.
It's hard. I think I'll eat my words on this one. I think that's hard.
That sounds
It almost sounds better. Evangeline, you got to know that you need to do this more often because you've whipped that A-League crowd into an absolute frenzy. Like that's impressive.
It was insane. Like could not have imagined it coming out any better.
Have they asked you back yet?
They are sending me a jersey, which I thought was really sweet. I think I can very, very proudly say I'm a Melbourne Victory fan now. But I truly hope that I get to work with them more because, this was just too good.
Absolutely.
I'm a big Adelaide United fan, so I'll throw a flower at you next time I see you.
Thanks for joining us.
Just A-League fun. Yeah, a bit of a worry for the Samba wearers amongst us. The cool Adidas original shoe is very much in at the moment, but Rishi Sunak, the PM over in the UK, has warned them in an interview. People are furious because it means that's kind of the death of the shoe now. The old, rich guy wearing them, running a country. But he has actually come out and made an official apology. Politicians, they rarely do this, but he said, I issue a fulsome apology to the Samba community. In my defence, I have been wearing Adidas trainers for a very long time.
I mean, why is he wearing trainers for an interview anyway? It seems a bit
I think he was just trying to be cool. I think he was trying to be cool.
Mm.
No, it's just it's like if you
if your dad started shopping at Sephora.
That's it.
That would be weird.
Do you know what I mean? Or Cook High.
Yeah.
It ruins it for you.
Dad, stop.
Imagine if Albo was wearing the Reebok shoes that everyone's wearing or the New Balance, and then you kind of now we can't wear them anymore.
Imagine if Kevin Rudd was walking around in DC's back in the day.
Yeah, it would have ruined it.
Yeah.
Would have killed it.
Yeah.
It's funny, though, sometimes because shoes come around and go around. I remember years ago, when I was in year 9, having a pair of Onitsuka Tigers. The Kill Bill shoes? They look like Asics, but they're not. Yeah. And then, they became a dad shoe for the last almost 2 decades. But now cool girls wear them again.
Well, yeah. Those. Yeah, no, see, this is the thing, right? Jeans with, New Balance...
Yep.
is cool again. But that was the dad look.
It was.
And New Balance now, their designs are retro. They look like the dad designs. So we just go around in circles. I don't think it's a big
Be
issue.
sure to tune in weeknights 6 to 8 for all the fashion tips and the hottest, latest trends. That's mainly the stuff we cover here on Ben, Liam and Belle.
A man over in the US got his lower half on the news,
Mhm.
specifically his testicles on
Yep.
the news. How? The news over in Mexico asked people to submit their footage and photos of the solar eclipse that happened overseas in the US, a few days ago now.
Mm.
And they said, oh, look at all this beautiful footage people have sent in.
And there was some great footage there.
Great footage. And so they're going through it all. And obviously someone in the back end
Mhm.
hadn't checked all the footage that was being sent through, put it on, and it was a shot of the sun. And then this man eclipsing the sun.
You say sun, I would say
the hairy moon got in the way.
you say sun, I think it's more a lamp in someone's room. And
Yeah.
they've just got their iPhone out and ducked in front of it.
was the sun.
No, it was very clearly not an eclipse. And I would have thought the pubes would have given it away.
I wonder if
you
they.
can see,
It's
amazing.
It's a lot.
I wonder if they didn't get very many submissions from viewers,
they're just
and,
like,
and
"Oh."
someone went, "Oh, no one will notice."
It's whatever. It's all hard
you
to
can
see.
notice.
Ashley joins us now in Melbourne. Good evening, Ashley. You got on the news.
Yes. So when Taylor came to Melbourne,
Mhm.
we were waiting outside to go and see her, and this news crew came up to us and just kind of started asking us these questions. But we didn't really think anything of it because there wasn't anything important. But then they asked us if we could scream "We love Taylor" like all together. There was like 4 of us.
Yeah.
We did that. Then they made us do it another 3 times, and then they just left. But then the next day, we started getting screenshots and screen recordings because they aired it on the news. But the only bit they aired was that when we were screaming, "We love Taylor."
Yeah, they've done you dirty in the edit there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Ashley, sadly, working in the media, that does happen.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you record a chat with someone and you go, we'll air the 10 seconds of that.
You know what? We're going to cut this up so hard for the podcast. We're going to make you're probably going to lose your job. The amount of stuff we're going to make it sound like you say, it's going to be wild.
Ashley, you're now in the draw for Nova's first class and 50K. Thank you very much for joining us. If you've ever been on the news, we'd love to know why. Susan in Brisbane, how'd you do it?
Hi. Well, we were expecting our 4th child and left it a little late to get to the hospital in time. And my husband was driving my car, which is a Commodore, and we got halfway and he had to pull over, and they were upgrading this road.
Yeah.
And so we're right in the middle of 4 lanes, and she was born right there in the car. I had to tell him, pull over because the baby's head's out.
Car baby. Yeah.
He was panicking. And he rang the ambulance, and then I had to say, just gently, just pull the baby out, and he did. And then I said, boy or girl? And he said, I don't know, because cords are running everywhere.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
A little girl.
Little girl called Commodore.
Oh, no.
And so when
No.
did the news get involved in all that?
Oh, then, let's see, Channel 9 News, a radio station, the local
Which one?
newspaper.
Which radio station? Was Nova on it?
Oh, I wish.
Oh, was it one
No,
of
but
those
it was a
stinking competitors, was it?
And
Yeah.
Susan, what did you call the child?
Madeline.
And how old's
cute.
Madeline?
Well, she's a mum now, married with 3 little ones.
Oh.
All born in hospitals?
Yes.
I would be rocked if you said no. Hyundai gets, actually. There you go.
Susan, thank you so much for joining us this evening. Call anytime. Lenny in Melbourne, we on the news?
Hi. How are you?
Good, thank you, Lenny.
That's good.
Were you on the news, Lenny?
What's going on?
Yes, I was on the news.
Yeah, hit us.
Well, me and my best friend went to the city because we knew Oprah's going to be there.
Yeah.
We were sitting outside Crown and she happened to go past.
Uh-huh.
News cameras were there, Channel 10 as well. I still got the clip, actually. And, she went past, the car stopped, she waved, we took a photo, and then the news crew came along and we were both on the news.
So did the news ask you about your experience, or you were just in the background of a shot?
Yeah, no, they asked us about the experience and we showed them the photo. They showed the picture on the news as well, like they zoomed in, and it was really exciting.
Oh, unreal. I mean, spewing you didn't get a car out of it.
Yeah.
Normally,
that'd be
that's
nice.
Oprah's fun. You should have checked all the seats in the area just in case there was any car keys underneath.
Thank you very much for getting involved, Lenny. Call anytime. Melinda in Melbourne joins us now. Did you get on the news?
I did. I was interviewed by Kylie and Larry Ebner on the morning show.
Oh, right. For what?
Me and my son, he was 12 at the time, he rang 000, so he was nominated for a 000 Hero Award.
One of those kids. So did he save someone's life?
He saved mine.
Oh, my God, Melinda, what happened?
I was having trouble breathing.
Oh, wow. And so, yeah, right. So that's cool that you managed to train. And did you taught your son how to do that?
We spoke about it a couple of times, but yeah, he pretty much done it all on his own.
Wow.
And we went into Parliament House and he received his award. A couple of weeks later, I had a phone call to be interviewed on the morning show.
And how'd the interview go with Kyle?
He did really well. He was very nervous. I had to pay him.
You had to pay your son to go on the TV show?
Yeah, because we got there and he got really nervous. He goes, "Mum, I don't want to do it." I went,
"You're doing it, kid.
You're doing it. How much did you have to give him the confidence to go on?
I gave him $50.
$50. That's pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Did save your life. I thought you said, for a second, I thought you paid Larry M to cash for an interview on the TV. I was like, oh my God. This has been a fun one.
Richard joins us now in Melbourne. Richard, did you get on the news?
Yeah, I did multiple times over quite a few years. I did a favour for a mate, and he was working in some energy company that ended up launching an app. And what happened was that the stock footage keeps getting used for, Father's Day, mental health with men, because my partner wasn't available for the photo shoot, so single parents and all that. So multiple times I give everyone that I know a scare because they always ring up and say, "Hey, what's going on? I saw you on the news."
What? So they're playing images of you like mental health crisis, and it's footage of you, Richard.
Sorry, I missed that.
So you're a stock image, so they keep using footage and photos of you on their news stories, even though it has nothing to do with you.
Correct, yeah. Just holding a baby and then making a cuppa and stuff like that.
That's bad.
My kids are school age now.
Yeah.
Still doing around.
That's nuts.
Richard, I'm also in the stock image reel for a current affair.
That's
from
right.
a few years ago, yes. They do reel it out a lot.
Isn't it like sleeping, lazy teenagers with gross rooms, and it's Belle like...
There's me when I was 16 or 17, in my childhood bed, pretending to be asleep, and my mum comes in and tries to wake me up, and I won't get up. That's rolled out literally every month.
I wish we spoke to someone who is behind a fly screen when there's a crime in the area. And they go, it's actually a really nice neighbourhood. We don't get much of that around here. I love those people. I wish we had at least one of them.
I have an update on our favourite movie merch.
Oh, the Dune 2 bucket. Oh, yeah. If you've not seen it, movie of the year, I've been claiming it. But yeah, the Dune 2 popcorn bucket, because there's giant sandworms in the film, and it is a big sandworm. So,
and the sandworm, I feel like you need to describe it. It's got like it's like a catfish mouth.
Yeah, it's like lots of tooth, like lots of teeth.
It's a hole that you stick your hand in, and the hole is little tentacles.
It's a tight rubber hole.
Yeah. And they got very, very popular, arguably for the wrong reasons.
So people weren't using them for popcorn.
Yeah, so they'd go to the movies and say, "Give me a Dune 2 popcorn bucket, hold the popcorn, extra butter."
Yeah, and a ticket to Madam Web. And it was just getting a bit ridiculous. And so, but what's the update?
Well, the creator who designed it has now come out, and she said if she knew how they were going to be used,
get off it.
She would have never designed them that way.
No, but you said, I think like last week, I think Liam, you said, do you think they designed it with that in mind?
I think
Answer,
they did
no.
it as a meme-y thing, knowing if we make a popcorn bucket that looks like this, it'll catch fire on the internet and everyone will go, "Oh my God, that's wild." Like, have you seen that? What I will say, though, if you've seen the films, it's a very accurate representation of Shah Hulud, the sandworm.
Yes. I'm very keen now, looking ahead into the future, I'm keen for the Dune 3 merch.
Oh yeah. Maybe it's 2 Shah Huluds.
You share with friends.
3.
You share with friends, and there's 2 sandworms.
Bring the boys over. Have some popcorn. Boys want to come around?
We always say make sure you check out the podcast if you missed the show, if you want to hear more of the show, more of the exclusive content that isn't on air. It's like behind-the-scenes stuff. You can always search Ben, Liam and Belle wherever you get your pods from. During that song there, I wanted to read out some reviews people were leaving about the podcast.
Oh, wonderful.
Uh-oh.
And so I haven't done this in ages, but I jumped onto Spotify and I went up to the podcast and I realized, and then next to the review section, there's more like this. So Spotify's algorithm recommends other podcasts that are similar to ours.
So we could, and maybe once you're mentioning these, if people are like, oh, that's a podcast I listen to and love.
Yep.
Maybe I'll love the Ben, Liam and Belle podcast.
I'm worried, though, that the algorithm is broken because unless I don't know our show very well, these don't really match our show.
Okay.
I don't think.
I'll let you know.
So the first recommendation is All the Gear and No Idea, the South Australian fishing podcast.
I mean, All the Gear and No Idea in South Australia, definitely buzzwords for our show. Maybe not the fishing stuff, though.
Yep. I like this one, Wags and Tails, the Veterinarian Nurses Unleashed podcast. So it's a couple of veterinarian nurses, Ree and Zoe are their names, and they do a podcast about being vet nurses.
Well, I like that.
That's not like our show.
I was sort of hoping we'd be linked to bigger. You know what I mean? Some big fish at the top of the charts.
This one's got a few listeners. Full Drive podcast. Ronnie Dahl and Liam Duggan explore the world of full driving every week with tips and advice for beginners and
Are these all
advanced.
we're just dwelling around the 500 mark on the charts. That's why they're like, oh, you might like this four-wheel driving podcast. Like,
that's wild.
So if you like veterinarian nurses, if you like forward driving and fishing, this is the podcast.
This is the bloody show. Brought to you by BCF. It's BCF and Fun. It's Late Drive with Ben, Liam and Belle.
For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au.